Hello and how's everyone doing today? Welcome to the channel if you're new, and if you're a returning viewer, I'm glad to have you back. As you can see from the title, this is the second episode of Justin Talks Games. The very first episode did pretty well. It was Devil May Cry 2. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out. I think you guys will enjoy it. This episode is going to be about Fallout 3, one of my most favorite and memorable games that I have ever played, outside of Resident Evil, of course. Okay. Grab your drinks, grab your snacks, and let's talk about Fallout 3. So, Fallout 3. That's one game that I'll never forget, and it's one game that I'll always play. The vault section, was pretty interesting. Not too much memorable stuff going on there, you know what I mean? But it's pretty cool. The one thing that I'll never forget about Fallout 3, though, is... Here, let me fix this. There we go, it's a bit better. Oh no, now I'm dark. There we go. So the one thing that I'll never forget in Fallout 3 is the presentation when you first get out of the vault, and I don't know, that's one of the major things that hooked me. I remember coming out of the vault, and the sun goes in your character's eyes, and then when you finally, when your eyes finally adjust, you see the entire wasteland all over. And I thought that was the presentation of how they did that was very good. It was amazing. You don't see that in a lot of games these days, which is pretty sad. And even for an older game, like I play it on PS3. I do have the PC versions. I do prefer the PS3 versions and stuff, to be honest. Same thing with New Vegas, I prefer the console version. I do play it on PC, but when it comes down to it, I prefer the console version. That's just my opinion. So, the draw distance on the PS3 version of Fallout 3 is actually pretty good. For small things like grass and stuff, it's not the greatest. But for locations and buildings and stuff, it's pretty good. I remember there's one part where you come out of the vault, and no, sorry, it was the vault, it was the vault. So you come out of the vault, and instead of dropping down, you go around the rock and you climb up on top. And when you do that, it's basically, there's like a hill, right? It's a mountain, and you come out here. I'm doing this wrong, whatever. You come out here, and there's a mountain, right? And there's like more land up here. So you can come around up here like this, and there's like a highway that's over this way. If you go up on the highway and you take all of the raiders out, which I did that recently actually, and that's one thing out of like my 6-7 playthroughs of that game that I've never done. And because I never thought you could get up there, to be completely honest. So, but anyway, I went up there and I killed all the raiders. It took me a while because I'm very low level, like I said, just started. And anyway, so I'm just looking out over the wasteland on the broken highway, and I'm looking out in the distance. And on what way was it? I can't remember what direction it was, to be honest with you. But I know, I saw something out in the distance, and I'm like, okay, what is that? And I was looking really closely. And believe it or not, you can actually see the SATCOM towers from Vault 101, or the highway just near it. And I thought that was really interesting, because they're literally way at the very end of the map, and because I'm probably gonna do this wrong, but Vault 101 is here, or the mountain is here. So you come out, of it, and you go up on top, and you got the highway, and you go over here. So we're over here, right? And you have the satcom tower. Probably saying it wrong. It's way, 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 way off in the distance. Like you can't even see it. Like on the map, like on the actual map, let's say you're here, and it would be like way, way over here. So technically, game-wise, you wouldn't be able to see it, but realistically, you would be able to see it in the distance. That's one thing that this game did very well. If you looked hard enough, you actually saw it, and I wasn't too sure, if it was just a bug or something. And I had a sniper rifle. I killed one of the raiders who had a sniper rifle, so I was luckily in. I can't talk. I was lucky. Jesus. I was lucky enough. There we go. To get a sniper rifle in the beginning of the game, so I got that from the raider. And I used the scope and I looked into the distance, and it was actually one of the SATCOM towers, and I was like, wow, that's really amazing. I thought that was really, really cool. Now, we all know that you can see the Mount Washington Monument, because that was one of the main selling points of Fallout 3. It was in a lot of its promotional art and all that. And when you come out of the vault, that's one of the first few things in the distance you see. So, but no, I was really surprised that you could see the SATCOM tower. That really surprised me. And a few other things as well you could see. But the draw distance on the PS3 was actually a lot better than I remembered, because I took a break from Fallout 3 for about a year or so, I'd say, and I was playing New Vegas on it. Because I don't like to play two separate Fallout games or so at a time, not including Fallout 4, because this is a separate system. I play that on the PS4. But anyway, so I remember getting to Megaton, and the very first time, and I'm like, this place is really weird looking, but okay. And Lucas Sims walks up. I didn't know who it was at first, so I'm like, oh, this guy's walking up to me, a newcomer, and blah blah blah, and you're done talking to him, you walk in the center of town, and you have this big, nuke in the middle of town, and I'm like, okay. And the guy worshiping it, and I was like, wait, this is really strange. And don't mind me drinking coffee here. Liquid energy, very good. And you can talk to the sheriff about disarming it and keeping the town safe. You can ask for a reward, or you can just do it out of the kindness. Now, I'm the type of person, I can't really play an evil character. I did it for New Vegas once for the Legion, a playthrough. I didn't really enjoy it. I do apologize for the light going light and dark and light and dark. I don't know why it's doing that. Anywho, I usually don't like playing evil characters, so I decided to save the town, disarm the bomb, without any reward. And he's like, oh, thank you, and here's a key to a house. And I didn't have any prior knowledge of Fallout 3 at all. And I can't even remember how I came knowledge of it, to be honest. And I know I was playing something, because I usually just used to play a lot of Resident Evil and Devil May Cry, and a few other games here and there. But I can't remember what made me play Fallout 3. I remember a very good friend of mine had Fallout 3, and he had it on the 360, and I borrowed it from him, and I played it on that. I didn't get a chance to play the DLC until I had it on the PS3 version, though. But moving forward from that, so yeah, so I got my house, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, robots and everything. Like I said, I didn't know anything about the Fallout games at all. So I'm just playing through, and remember going to Moira, and she said, oh, can you help me make a Wasteland book to help people? And I'm like, oh, this is really neat. So I did that. And also, just a heads up, this video is probably going to be a little bit longer than the Devil May Cry 2 one, because there's a lot more I can say about Fallout than I can about Devil May Cry 2. Anyway, so I remember going to the Super Duper Mart, and because she asked me, can can you go to Super Duper Mart to get some supplies like food and medical items? So I'm like, okay, sure. So I go there, and this is when I figured the game, or not figured. This is when I noticed the game went from um, I don't want to say happy jolly, stuff, because it was still pretty grim going into Megaton, still pretty grim and stuff. But people looked like they were doing okay and stuff. But I went into Super Duper Mart. I killed the raiders outside and then went in. And the tone of the game completely shifts. And it's pretty dark. And you're like, oh, it's a little bit not scary, but a little bit unnerving, I guess. You're going through this place. You got raiders walking around with shotguns and stuff, and you're walking around in the dark trying to look for food and stuff, and you don't want to get found by these people. Anyway, so when I'm done that, I don't decide to go back to Moira right away. And I remember one place I'll never forget, and it's pretty dark and grim in this location. I remember going into I can't remember the name of it, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. I should know the name of it. I think it's what is it called? Sunnyvale School. I could be wrong. It's the school just outside Megaton and Vault 101, that area. I could be wrong in the name, but I think it's either a high school or a yeah, it's a high school. That's right. So I go in there. Oh no, sorry, it's not a high school. It's an elementary school. I'm wrong. So anyway, I go in there, and the first thing that you see when you walk in there, if you go through the front entrance, because I think the front entrance is locked, so you have to do a lockpick. And I have my lockpick up a tiny bit because I was doing my lockpick skill up. So I go in there, and the first thing that you see is you walk in the front door, and the first thing that you see is a cage with two pillars. Oh no, sorry. There's a stairwell that goes up, if I remember correctly, under the cage. I can't remember the exact layout. When I remember where you walk in, and you have a balcony up on the top, and you have this giant cage right in the center, and a bunch of hanging bodies and blood and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my god, the tone of the game completely just 360 shifts in that place, because you're in this wasteland and you're like, okay, it's not too bad. And you go into Megaton, people are okay, it's not too bad, and you have 50 style music playing, so you're kind of upbeat, I guess. You're feeling pretty good. And you go into this school, and everything gets completely 360s. Blood all over the floor, blood-soaked mattresses. Like I said, the cage with the the bodies in there, and I was like, oh boy. And I never really played anything like this before, like Fallout before. So I didn't know what I was expecting. I never played 1, I never played 2. Later on, I got a original Xbox, which I have to this day still, and I played a little bit of I think it was Tactics or the Brotherhood of Steel. I can't remember which one. I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. I do want to get it back though. But anyway, so I'm going through the school, and I think they're just grim. There's blood all over the walls and stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god. Like, what did I get myself into? The one thing that'll always stick in my mind, and games don't make me give me shivers and make me feel, it was very very rare. There's only one other game that actually affected me, and that's for reasons that I really don't want to bring up, to be honest, and that was Metal Gear Solid 4. And I'm not going to say what part or anything like that, but that's one game that, brought up some feelings. But anyway, moving on, because like I said, I don't want to get into that. I remember walking through, I think it's the second floor. I can't remember. I think it was the second floor. I'm going through, and you, sorry, um, you come to the end of the hall, but so you have the hallway. You're going down this way, right? And I do apologize, like I said, about the light, doing light and dark. I don't know why. Anyway, so I'm coming down the hallway like this, and it was like a dead end. And instead of it just being like a flat wall, someone put a cage. So you have the wall like this, right? So you're coming like this, and then you have the end of the wall here, and then someone put a cage here. So you have like a, you know, a makeshift jail cell that someone put. And the thing that'll always stick with me, and I remember, and I was like, oh my god, there's a bunch of blood sprays in there and whatever, kind of like the room downstairs. But the thing that really made me go wow, which really, you know, actually had me thinking and stuff. And like I said, I don't have games that really make me do that. In that makeshift jail cell with all the blood and stuff, yeah, there were bones and stuff, but they were small bones. And I was like, wow. And I was really thinking, just sitting there, like, what did they do to these children? I tried not to think about it much because I started seeing where this game was going. It's like, okay, it's an apocalyptic game, and I can see they're not playing around. This game's not going to be all fun and games and happy times here. So, anyway, so I leave that area. Obviously, it left an impression because, like I said, that's one thing that I'll always remember. And I leave there, go back to Megaton, and finish the quest. There's another place that is pretty dark as well. There's hints of it. It doesn't straight up say it. I want to say underage people dancing on poles, if you get what I'm getting at. I don't really want to get into that because that's some pretty bad stuff there. Because there's, I forget, what's the location? I think it's Evergreen Mills, I think it is. And I remember the first time I went there, I didn't really notice it the first time I went there because I played through it multiple times. I think it was the second or third time that I played through it, and I was like, whoa. First time I went through it, it was just raiders, no, just killing people, whatever, not thinking about it. And Evergreen Mills, it's like it's a train yard that has a few other things to it. But anyway, so you go in there, and there's like a cave system. Somehow, I don't even know how they did it, but there's like some cave system there. And in the caves, there's, you know, the raiders set up their shop. And you go in there, and there's a bunch of dancing poles and stuff. Now, the thing that kind of made me feel kind of wheezy, I guess, it was like, oh boy, was, besides some of the, yeah, see, it's making me feel kind of weird now. Besides some of the poles where the toy teddy bears. So, and there's some other little things too, like toys and blocks and stuff around there too. In certain places of in the caves. So I remember after putting some like two and two together, and I was like, oh my god. So there's a lot of really dark stuff in Fallout 3 that they didn't do in Fallout 4. Like Fallout 4 is more, you know, happy-go-lucky. You know, like have fun, whatever. Like, yeah, it's still apocalypse and stuff. You know, but they're not as worse. They're not as bad. But yeah, anyway, the one good thing about that location, though, Evergreen Mills, is there's a super mutant behemoth on the outside, so you can shoot a generator, and he'll break free, and he can kill all the raiders for you. If you venture far enough into the cave system, there's a guy named Smiling Jack. He's a raider, and he's actually one of the only, if I remember correctly, he's the second. Yeah, he's one of the two raiders that are not hostile to you unless you start it, if I remember correctly. Because there's one in one of the metro tunnels, and he's asking you, he wants the sexy sleepwear, and if you give it to him, he just runs off and he doesn't hurt you. Really, really weird. What do you call it? Encounter, but whatever. So Smiling Jack, he's a trader, and he basically says to you, "Yeah, I'll trade to you, but don't let them see me, trading with you," kind of thing. It's pretty much what it is. But anyway, if you kill him, you can get the strongest shotgun in the entire game, not including the DLC. So you can get the strongest shotgun base game. It's called the Terrible Shotgun, which is, you have to laugh at the name because it's the best, strongest shotgun in the game, but it's called the Terrible Shotgun. I thought that was really funny. So, with some other things that I want to say about Fallout 3. It was my first introduction of the Brotherhood of Steel. And so I thought the Brotherhood of Steel were always, high and mighty, and they were always, what do you call it? For the people and all that. So I'm like, oh, these guys are really cool. They got these, power armor suits and everything, and that's part of the and that's another thing too, with this power armor for Fallout 3. The T-45 power armor is my favorite power armor, and even after when Fallout 4 came out and Fallout 76, I know that game gets a lot of hate. I do enjoy that game though, but that's another episode. I do really enjoy 76, but anyway, even after Fallout 4 and 76 came out, I still tried to stick to the 45 power armor. I don't know, something about it that I just really like. Even the 51 power armor is good, and I think the reason for that is because those are the first power armors that I saw, to be honest. And yeah, so I really like the power armor in that game. One thing I kind of like too and noticed is that, now I don't know if this was in Fallout 3 or if it was in Vegas. Now, if you're wearing the power armor and raiders or whatever people are shooting at you, you actually have the sound of, like the bullets bouncing off you, like the metal sounds. The sound of the bullets bouncing off the metal. I thought that was really cool. Now, I don't know if that was added in New Vegas. Like, I know it's in Fallout 4, obviously. But I don't know if that feature was added in Fallout Vegas or if that was a Fallout 3 thing. I can't remember. Because I could be thinking of New Vegas there. There's some also paranormal locations and some scary locations, I guess, as well. Not in the sense of blood and the child stuff that I was talking about. There's one place called the Dunwich Building, and I remember my first time going there. That was really cool too. That place actually is haunted in the game, and that place actually has a use, and you need the Point Lookout DLC to complete that area, I'd say. But anyway, the story goes that there's two raiders, or not raiders, or two people, if I remember correctly, and or a couple people or something like that. They're using that building as a place to live or something, or they're gonna explore it or something. And anyway, two people came, and when you when you go in the front doors, you can see two skeletons, or one skeleton, and either one or two cases of ammo. I can't remember. And I thought, though, I'm like, okay, well, this is pretty neat. And you're walking around, and doors start opening and closing by themselves, and ghouls literally just pop out of nowhere and stuff. So I remember the first time I'm walking around, the door open, and I'm walking, the door closes. I'm like, okay, that's kind of strange, but I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's a raider or something, maybe they can close doors, because they can open doors. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's a raider and he's closing the door, maybe I was making too much noise, maybe he heard me or something. So I'm walking, and I open that door, and there's no one in there. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just a rigged trap or something to, screw with victims or something, play around with their victims or something. Maybe raiders took over the building. So I'm walking, and the door opens. I turn around, I look, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And then the screen goes to like a hallucinating, and you see like an actual person walking around, and you're like, okay, this is really weird. And it goes back to reality, and then there's a ghoul chasing after you, and I was like, oh shit, I wasn't prepared. Killed the ghoul and stuff, and anyway, I'm looking around, and you get to the basement eventually, because there's a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, you get to the basement of this place, and there's this giant pedestal thing. I remember covered with skulls and stuff, if I remember correctly. And I'm like, Jesus, what the hell is this? And skipping way forward, Point Lookout DLC, there's an add-on that's connected to that building. So, I forget the name of the book, or sorry, I know the name of the book, but I can't pronounce it. But anyway, there's this basically evil demon book that you need to get from a guy, or for a guy named Obadiah Blackhall. And basically he's into demons and all that kind of stuff, but he doesn't tell you that. Long story short, you get the book. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in between, but I don't want to really get into that. So you get the book, you go back to the Capital Wasteland, you go back to the building, you go back into the basement. You take the book and you put it on the pedestal, and it explodes in fire, and it's gone. And I was like, this is really strange. So yeah, there's that, and it's also my very first time learning about the Enclave. And the very first time I saw the Enclave power armor, now you guys are gonna laugh at this, because I still see their armor like this, and it's funny. The Advanced Mark II power armor, to me, looks like a big, powerful Batman suit. Just the way how the helmet comes down like this and run around like that, and also how the back of the helmet comes up and you have the two spikes that come up on like this. They kind of look like Batman ears. So that was neat. And that's when I found out they were really evil and whatever, and so they're a really interesting faction too. Project Purity was pretty interesting. I remember going through and killing the super mutants, and I remember the very first time I saw Behemoth, and like I know I'm flopping all over the all over the place in the game, but I remember the very first time that I saw a Behemoth, and I was like, holy shit, how the hell am I gonna kill this thing? I'm level like what, 10, if that, just after when I'm on my way to Galaxy News. I'm like, how the hell am I gonna kill this guy? And that's when you meet up, the Brotherhood, they're all shooting whatever, and you see Initiate Redden, she gets flung halfway, across, and she's dead. And I'm like, well, these, highly trained guys, can't kill this guy. Well, how the hell am I gonna do it? So anyway, we all end up working together, obviously, and we take him out. And I look, he's dead, whatever, and I get a look at his face. And I don't know why their face always reminded me of Nemesis. If you ever get a chance, look up Super Mutant Behemoth Fallout 3. And if you can, try and get a close up of the face. And look up Nemesis Resident Evil 3. Obviously, they don't look the same, but they have similarities, like, you know. And I thought, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'm like, you know, you're fighting guys like Nemesis. And but anyway, that's also the first time I used the Fat Man, and I was like, holy shit, my portable nuke launcher. This is awesome. Um, you know, and that's the funny thing is too, because if you really think about it, okay, what situation are you ever going to need a portable nuke launcher? Realistically, you know what I mean? I mean, I used it against Behemoth at that point, and then after that, to be honest, I usually just kept it in my locker in my house. Same with the nukes, because base game, you can only get, oh, how many is it? I'm trying to think, guys. Like without any of the DLCs and stuff, I think it's like, I want to say 8. I think you can only get 8. And then later, I think they updated the game where you can buy nukes from Flak and Shrapnel in Rivet City, but they're pretty damn expensive though. So, but before that, I remember, yeah, you could only find them, and there's only 8 nukes, and they were like the strongest things. Let's see what else. There's not too much else I can really say about it. I guess I'll touch on the DLCs. I mean, I could realistically, I could go on and on and on and talk about Fallout 3 for hours and hours, but I don't really want to be, you know, sitting here for hours and hours, because I know you guys have other things you want to do, and you probably don't want to hear me rambling on, you know, and repeating myself, because that's eventually what I end up doing, and I don't like doing that. So I'll touch on the DLCs a little bit. The pit, I like the pit. The pit was really cool. Unfortunately, my disc is a bit scratched right now, so I was only able to really do it about once or twice. So I don't have too much to say about it, because I haven't done every little thing about it, or that you can do in it. I did all the ingots. That was a pain in the ass. Which I think that nets you the metal blaster, laser rifle, and I do like the silenced machine gun you can get from that, which is really helpful if you're doing a sneak build. The story, I can't really remember too much of the story of that one, to be honest. Like I said, I spent very little time on that. I know that you have to save a baby or something. I can't remember. I know the river or the lake that I can't remember. Hold on. When you first start off, there's a bridge that you have to go across, and there's a giant river or lake or something, and it's like a yellowy color. So if you jump into that, you know, you're getting something stupid like 100 or 200 rods a second or something just dumb, and you just pretty much die instantly. Like, not instantly, but close enough. I know there's trogs, I think they're called, and they're kind of like human slab. I guess the easiest way to explain them would be they're humanoid looking lickers, except they don't have long tongues. They have the same characteristics. They run around, and they can run on walls and all that. And they're really fast. But basically what that is a disease. I can't remember what the disease is called, but basically it's a disease that changes them into that kind of thing. That's all I can really remember with the pit. Operation Anchorage is one of my favorite DLCs, and it's not just because of the stuff that you get as a reward. The DLC on its own was really good. I really enjoyed it. I like the fact that it took you back pre-war. Well, you're actually in a simulation. You're not actually. Sorry about that. You're not actually going pre-war, but you're in a simulation that pre-war United States military soldiers would use for practice for battles. Now, this DLC, like I said, I really liked it because you got to kind of see pre-war a little bit, which was neat. You also got to see the Crimson Dragoons in action. Those guys are a pain in the ass to take out because they're using the Chinese armor suits, or I can't remember, Chinese stealth armors. And yeah, they're a pain in the ass to see because in some places in that DLC and the munitions hall and all that area, it's really dark. So they're basically hiding in all these different areas and you can't see them. There's also not a glitch, but what do you call it? What's the word? Basically, you can manipulate the game to get like thousands and thousands and thousands of ammo if you know how to do it. I did it in one playthrough, and then after that, I never did it again because I kind of ruined the game, kind of broke the game a bit. And by broke, I mean it kind of unbalanced it. So there's these things. Oh, it keeps going dark. There we go. Let me turn this a little bit. Stupid thing. Whatever. Sorry, guys. So there's these things like there's like these ammo stashes or whatever, and you can only pick up so much ammo. Like, say you don't have any ammo, and it'll, if you click on it, it'll fill you up to your max ammo. So the thing is, you only get, I think it's like 100 or 200 ammo, say if you're using the machine gun requisition. So if you drop machine gun ammo, click on the box, it'll give you ammo. You drop that ammo, click on the box, it will give you more ammo. And you can literally just keep doing it. So you can see how broken that would be. Near the end of the game, or near the end of the DLC. Okay, so for how this works is before you go into simulation, there's a door you go into in the facility that has a what do you call it? One of the Gary clones from one of the vaults. Now, one of the Brotherhood guys took them. Sorry about that. One of the Brotherhood guys took one of the Garys and they dragged them all the way to that base. And they're trying to get information about him, and they wanted a Pip-Boy. So what happened, long story short, blah blah blah, he gets kept saying Gary, 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 because that's all he knew how to say. And so they ended up killing him. They ended up stealing the Pip-Boy or something. I can't remember exactly how it worked. But anyway, you take the Gary's body and you put that in the machine as well. What do you call it? The a virtual reality machine, whatever I called it earlier, I can't remember. You put it in there, and that's when you get into the machine. So anyway, after you collect all this ammo and whatever near the end, as the game is ending the DLC, you look down, and you gotta keep pushing X or A, whatever your system you're playing on, or I think it's W or something on PC. I can't remember what it is, to open inventories or something. But anyway, as the screen's going black, you want to look down as fast as you can and then just keep pushing it, because when you start loading into the game, back into the main world, you want to be able to open up Gary, put all your all the DLC ammo stuff, including all the guns and everything as well. You throw that into Gary's body, and then you get out and everybody talks and blah blah blah, and then you can take all the stuff from Gary and you have all of the simulation weapons. And there's a bug a bug with those because you're not supposed to bring them with you. They never break. So essentially, you have unbreakable weapons and like thousands and thousands of ammo, which includes like missiles and 10mm 5.56 ammo, all that stuff. So, a Mothership Zeta, about that. That one was pretty interesting. I did like that. I don't want to spend too much time on that one. Because it was mostly just aliens and stuff. You're not really doing a lot. You're just escaping an alien ship. There's really not too much to talk about. There's some powerful weapons, but other than that, there's not too much about it. I do like it. But, oh, and the one thing I do like, you can see Earth from the spaceship. That was one of the coolest things, I'd say, from that DLC. And the space battle. You can battle another, what do you call it, alien ship. That was pretty cool, too. Moving forward to Point Lookout now. So, Point Lookout was, I liked it. It was pretty damn hard. I'll tell you that right now. Point Lookout is one of the hardest DLCs I've ever played. Outside of Lonesome Road for New Vegas. So, the story for Point Lookout was alright. One of the side quests I really like, you're acting like a Chinese spy. So you're going through all these different places and stuff. And basically at the end, your superior basically kills you. Like with poisonous gas or something. Basically, thanks for your service, but now we're killing you. So that was kind of interesting how they did that. The Calvert Mansion and all that kind of stuff overall was kind of interesting, and the fruit. Trying to think, it's been a little while since I've done that one too. So the shotgun that you get in that one is, I want to say it's all right. One of my favorite weapons you get is, oh, what is it called? A Blackwater rifle. And it's a lever action rifle, kind of like Lincoln's repeater in the main game. I really, really like that one. Like I said, the main story for that add-on, it was okay. But I have to say the main story is a bit more interesting in the main game. I'm not too sure what else to say about Fallout 3. Like I said, I could go on and on and on, but I don't want to start repeating or touching on tiny little things, you know. And the fact that we're coming on almost an hour, I didn't think this episode would be that long. So if there's any more Fallout 3 stuff you'd like me to talk about, or do, you know, another episode of Fallout 3 for Justin Talks Games, where I can talk about a little bit more about Fallout 3 things, let me know. I'm not too sure what the next episode is going to be, and like I said, these episodes are going to be at least between once a week or once every 2 weeks or something. But yeah. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, I can't end the video yet. I forgot to touch on the very last DLC, and that was Broken Steel. Can't end the video yet. So Broken Steel, I really liked that one. I really liked going in the metro tunnel system and having the last, what do you call it? That one subway car being able to move. All the ghouls in that area, holy shit, that was pain in the ass, I'll tell you that. Adams Air Force Base, that was really cool too. Seeing the thing that the mobile base reminded me of the Jawas mobile crawler from from Star Wars. Liberty Prime being blown up, that sucked. I remember seeing that and I was like, no. And then him coming back in Fallout 4, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Um, Fun fact, and I don't know if a lot of you know this because no one really plays Fallout 3 anymore. Everybody's basically playing Fallout 4 and Skyrim. So, the area where Prime gets blown up, if you go back a bit, there's a fence that acts as an end of the area wall kind of thing. If you put enough ammo or something, you can actually get over the fence. Now, when you get over the fence, there's going to be, you can go around the mountain and go up, and there's a table there with some rockets underneath it and a rocket launcher sitting on top. And it's called Tesla Cannon, and it looks exactly like a rocket launcher. Now, the cool thing is that's actually a beta weapon. Developers, I guess they forgot to take it out or something, not too sure. But yeah, so it is an energy weapon, but it actually uses rockets. So I thought that was really cool. I keep looking, and even to this day, you know, if I can get out of the map, I keep looking. That's the only out of map weapon that I've ever seen. So apparently, and I don't know if this is true, apparently there is a secret weapon that you can get on top of Super Duper Mart. I don't know if that's true because you can't even get on Super Duper Mart. There's no way possible that you can. So I've heard rumors of that. I mean, I can check on the PC, get to go to Free Camera and look, but I think it's fake, to be honest. But yeah, also, fun fact before I go, the Fridwin, the big airship in Fallout 4 that the Brotherhood are using, was actually built at Adams Air Force Base in Fallout 3 from all the parts of the mobile crawler and everything else, like the planes and all that stuff too. So I thought that was really interesting. I don't know if anybody reads terminals and stuff, so I don't like to assume. But anyway, I'm going to leave this episode here. I do absolutely love talking about Fallout. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a subscribe, a comment, all that kind of fun stuff. And I'm not too sure what the next episode is going to be. I'm always taking suggestions. If I don't use your suggestion, don't feel offended, don't feel bad or anything like that. It's just maybe I'll have something else planned, or I don't know too much about the game that you suggested or something, because I don't want to talk about something that I don't know a lot about and then just make up a bunch of crap, you know, or read a bunch of stuff online and be like, oh yeah, I played this game or something, you know. But anyway, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Justin Talks Games as much as I enjoyed talking about Fallout 3 for you guys today. So, like I said earlier, if you do want me to talk a little bit more about Fallout 3 and stuff, other things that I liked, and, you know, just other random things, let me know in the comments. So, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.